The woman in the maroon jumper.
Hi. I run a chemical company in Aylesbury. Over the past 30 years, we've grown from nothing to a medium-sized company, employing people here, buying products from all over the world, bringing them into the UK and selling them in the UK and in Europe. Because of the trade barriers that are being put up by Brexit and the duplicated regulations, the massively increased costs and bureaucracy of Brexit, we are having to now bypass the UK for half of our business. I don't want to do this. I want to employ people in the UK. I want to pay UK taxes and I want to support UK services. But because of people like the ERG and their hardline Brexiteer stance, I'm having to do this, and we're not alone. There are thousands of other companies in the UK doing this too. And we're all going to lose employment, taxes, our overstretched and underfunded public services are going to suffer. And when that happens, it's not going to be the Rees-Moggs and the Johnsons that are going to suffer from that. It's going to be us, the working people of the UK. And any Brexit deal is going to be worse than what we've already got. And the worst case scenario is a no-deal Brexit, which would be catastrophic. And the Brexiteers just don't seem to care, or they don't know actually what they're trying to do, because this is going to be massively damaging long-term for the UK. And I just think, as more and more things come out about the Leave campaign, the promises of the Leave campaign are not going to be met by Brexit, by any Brexit. They were completely unrealistic. And also, we now know that Leave campaign used lies, illegal methods to get the result they got. So I just don't see how any of this can be valid, and it's we that are going to suffer at the end of all of this, while the government and the opposition seem to be just fighting internally.
You don't know, you don't care. I mean, when you hear that, and that was certainly an impassioned plea,
yes.
Does that give you pause?
On the other hand, the leading figure in INEOS, major chemicals company, has written to the head of the European Union, to Monsieur Juncker, to say that the regulations that have come from the European Union have made investing in the EU, from his point of view, something that is not worth doing because the regulations are strangling business. The problem is that the European Union is a failed economic model.
What do you say to that woman there?
What I say is that we are freeing ourselves from this failed economic model to have a better one where we are able to engage with the rest of the world rather than hiding behind the barriers that the EU feel protects it. But in fact have led to low economic growth. If you look at
it's all going to be okay for her.
It's not true.
Well, chemical regulations under the REACH regulations, if you're registered with REACH, you are able to export into the European Union's market. So that is something that ought to continue. But we don't have the deal yet. It may be that we go to WTO terms. But the economic failure of Europe really is quite extraordinary. Since the Eurozone was set up, the Eurozone has grown by 26%, the UK by 44%, and the US by 42%. That gives you an idea of the failure of the central EU project, that we are going to be freeing ourselves so that we can be economically more successful. We can lower the prices of goods in this country by cutting tariffs. We can have cheaper food, clothing and footwear, benefiting most of all the least well off in our society. This is a terrific benefit. So do I think industry will benefit in the end? Overwhelmingly, it will be good for competitiveness, good for British business.
Jimmy Wales.